Andrey Kartapolov's early life and education. Early life. Full name: Andrey Valeryevich Kartapolov. Andrey Valeryevich Kartapolov. Date of birth: November 9th, 1963. Place of birth: Weimar, East Germany, then under Soviet control. As part of the Cold War Soviet military presence, he was born into a military family, which significantly influenced his career path. His upbringing in a Soviet military environment contributed to his early orientation toward military service. Education: Andrey Kartapolov received a classical Soviet-Russian military education, attending elite military institutions, Moscow Higher Combined Arms Command. School graduated, 1985. This school prepared officers for leadership in ground forces. Graduates often entered service as platoon or company commanders. Frunze Military Academy. Graduated, 1993A, prestigious military academy that educated mid-level officers for operational command and staff duties. Entry is typically granted after 8 to 10 years of field experience. Military Academy of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Russia. Graduated the 2007. The highest military education institution in Russia, training senior officers for top-level strategic positions. Attendance is generally limited to officers earmarked for general rank. This rigorous academic progression is typical of Russian generals and underlines Kartapolov's professional military background, rooted in traditional Soviet doctrine and adapted to modern Russian strategic needs. Let me know if you'd like to explore his time at any of these institutions in more detail, or how his early education influenced his command style. Here is a detailed overview of Andrey Kartapolov's military career. The 1980-21 military career overview, 1980-2021. Kartapolov's military service spans over 40 years, progressing from platoon-level leadership to high command positions in the Russian armed forces. His career is marked by operational command, strategic planning, and later political military oversight. Early career: 1980s, 1990s, 1985. Graduated from Moscow Higher Combined Arms Command School, served in the group of Soviet forces in Germany, beginning his career as a platoon and company commander, advanced through positions including battalion and regiment commander. 3. Graduated from the Frunze Military Academy, enhancing his eligibility for higher command and staff roles. Mid-career: 1990s-2000s, held leadership positions in various Russian military districts: Far Eastern Military District, Siberian Military District, Moscow Military District, commanded a motorized rifle division, and later a combined arms army. 2007, graduated from the General Staff Academy, the pinnacle of Russian military education. After graduation, continued his ascent in operational command, senior leadership roles, 2010, 2015, 2014, Chief of Staff. First Deputy Commander, Western Military District 2014, 2015, appointed head of the main operational Directorate of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Russia, and Deputy Chief of the General Staff. One of the most influential positions in Russia's military hierarchy. Oversaw strategic planning, including operations in Ukraine and Syria. June 2015, promoted to Colonel General. Operational Command and Syria Deployment. 2015, 2007 to 2016, and 2017-2018, Commander of the Western Military District, ZVO, one of the most critical regions bordering NATO countries. DEC 2016. Mar 2017, Commander of Russian Forces in Syria Oversaw Operations, that led to the recapture of Palmyra from ISIS, advocated the creation of a permanent, unified air-land-sea base in Syria, promoted integration of political and military efforts during the Syrian campaign, political military oversight, 2018, the Romani 21, July 2018. Appointed Deputy Minister of Defense and head of the main military political directorate, GVPU. This marked the revival of the Soviet-style political military structure aimed at enforcing ideological loyalty and morale among troops. He became the chief political officer of the armed forces, a position with deep historical roots in the USSR. Worked to modernize troop indoctrination programs and military patriotic education, supported initiatives to increase discipline, restrict mobile phone use, and promote patriotism. Served in this role until October 2021, when he transitioned into civilian politics. Ranks and honors: achieved the rank of Colonel General, one of the highest in the Russian armed forces, decorated with several awards including Order for Merit to the Fatherland, Order of Courage medals for military merit and distinction. Would you like a deeper breakdown of his Syria campaign, his role in the Ukraine conflict, or his leadership style in the political military directorate? Andrey Kartapolov's role as Deputy Minister of Defense of the Russian Deputy Minister of Defense. Tenure, July 30th, 2018. October 2021 position, head of the main military political directorate, GVPU. Rank, Colonel General. Background of the appointment: the main military political directorate was re-established in 2018 by order of President Vladimir Putin. Its structure and goals were modeled on the Soviet-era GVPU, which supervised political indoctrination, troop morale, and loyalty. Kartapolov was appointed its first director in the modern era, making him the top political officer in the Russian armed forces. Key responsibilities: ideological control and morale. Management ensured that soldiers were loyal to the Russian state and president, oversaw military media, patriotic education, and cultural institutions, promoted Russian military history and anti-Western narratives, helped reintroduce the Zampolit system, political officers at unit levels, censorship and discipline, championed restrictions on smartphones and electronic devices for troops to reduce intelligence leaks, implemented tighter control over social media activity by soldiers, religious and national identity, supported Russian Orthodox Church involvement in the military, advocated traditional, conservative values as part of the Russian military identity, youth and patriotic programs, expanded Yunarmia, Young Army, a youth movement aimed at fostering patriotism, integrated schools and civilian institutions into military patriotic education efforts. Significance of the role: Kartapolov became the most powerful political figure in the military since the fall of the Soviet Union. His appointment marked a return to ideological military management, merging defense policy with internal propaganda. He operated alongside, but not beneath, the Chief of the General Staff, focusing on internal cohesion rather than operational command. Criticism and concerns. Western analysts criticized the re-establishment of the GVPU as a step toward militarized nationalism. Human rights groups raised alarms over the suppression of free expression among conscripts and ideological indoctrination. Kartapolov defended these policies as necessary for discipline and unity amid hybrid warfare threats. End of tenure: Kartapolov resigned in October 2021 to enter politics. He was elected to the State Duma and became chairman of the Defense Committee, continuing his influence on Russian military policy from a legislative position. Would you like more detail on his ideological policies, how he managed the GVPU, or reactions to this Soviet-style revival from within and outside Russia. Here is a detailed breakdown of Andrey Kartapolov's political-military oversight role from 2018 to 2021. During his time as Deputy Minister of Defense and head of the main Military Political Directorate, GVPU, Political Military Oversight, 2018-2021. Position, Deputy Minister of Defense. Role, Head of the Main Military Political Directorate, GVPU. Term, July 30th, 2018, October 2021. Purpose of the GVPU are established. In 2018, the GVPU was Russia's modern version of the Soviet-era GlavPUR, the political organ of the Soviet military. Its mission was to strengthen internal cohesion, ensure ideological loyalty, and reassert state control over the military's moral and political development. Core functions under Kartapolov: 1. Political indoctrination, reinforced pro-Kremlin ideology within the armed forces, promoted loyalty to President Vladimir Putin and the Russian state. Reintroduced political officers, zampolits, at multiple command levels to monitor morale and ideological compliance. Patriotic education, expanded military patriotic training in schools and universities, oversaw the development of historical content, emphasizing victory in WVU and Russian military heroism. Supported nationwide programs like Yunarmia, Young Army, to shape pro-military, nationalist youth. Cultural and religious integration encouraged partnerships with the Russian Orthodox Church to promote traditional and moral values in the ranks. Oversaw military parades, museums, and patriotic exhibitions. Information control and censorship enforced strict limits on soldier use of smartphones and social media to prevent leaks and Western influence, monitored troop communications for signs of dissent or disloyalty, promoted state-sanctioned military media and publications. Discipline and morale. Promoted policies for psychological support and unity in difficult service conditions, especially amid Syria operations and Ukraine tensions. Instituted morale building programs based on national pride, religious values, and military tradition. Strategic and political impact. Kartapolov helped bridge the military and civilian spheres, influencing education, media, and youth movements with militarized nationalism. The GVPU became a key mechanism for internal political control of the armed forces, ensuring they remained ideologically aligned with Kremlin objectives. He laid the groundwork for legislative proposals related to conscription, reservist duties, and digital oversight after moving to the State Duma transition to politics. In October 2021, Kartapolov left his post in the Ministry of Defense. Hamabrim was elected to the State Duma and became chairman of the Defense Committee, where he continued to shape